you're creating titles or a lower third to go over your footage rather than bringing the footage into AE. That transparent background you need is referred to as an alpha channel. So usually you'll export RGB, which is red, green, and blue channels combined. But for some video formats, you can export RGB plus alpha, which is to say the image is in full color, but with a transparency. To export an alpha channel video, I would usually use the Apple ProRes 4444 codec. You can export a GIF with a transparency. Why not just use After Effects and Premiere's dynamic link to drag it straight into Premiere? If you've created a new composition and nothing is obscuring the background, such as a solid for example, you can toggle the transparency grid here. So if you exported this with an alpha channel, only the text would be exported, and you could drop it over anything you liked. You can also import alpha channel files into AE and stack them up to your heart's content. Toggle the transparency switch again to get your default background, which is usually black. We can actually use layers to create alpha channel cutouts called a track matte. You can use the layer above as the shape or cutout and the layer below as the texture by selecting one of the options from the track matte dropdown on the layer below. As you can see, you now get these new little icons on those layers, and the top layer visibility eye icon has been switched off. Now that can sound a little complicated, but have a mess around and you'll get the hang of the order and you'll see the possibilities pretty quick. There's also 4 blending modes for transparency: Stencil Alpha, Stencil Luma, Silhouette Alpha, and Silhouette Luma. Last but not least is the Preserve Transparency toggle, which can be really useful in overlaying textures without the need to create a track matte, especially when there is no background layer. As an example, let's reveal text from thin air. If I have this black box here, it will show up when I export the alpha channel, and it's going to look pretty dumb. What I can do instead is select Alpha Inverted Matte from the dropdown. If I instead wanted the text to vanish once it left the black box, I would select Alpha Matte. Try these out on text, shapes, and even footage to get some trippy effects. Happy editing, and I look forward to you joining me in the next lesson.